Hey there, it's February 28th, 2021. This is All About Your Benjamins and your weekly mixtape and weekend review video. Hope you had a great week. As you can see down below, kind of short on the headlines, not a lot of excitement going on. So let's get straight to the headlines that may or may not be impacting your financial plan and portfolio. And we will start with the latest COVID-19 stimulus package. It was voted upon by the House, going to the Senate now for a $1.9 trillion package. And the big things here are a $1,400 stimulus for individuals and children as well. So this will be for families that make less than $150,000. I believe it phases out at $200,000, or individuals at $75,000. So there are certain families that will be getting these checks and certain that will not. It'll be $1,400 for individual, for the children as well. And then also they're going to be including dependent children that are older. So think of kids in college. We'll count this time around, and the last time they didn't. So some unique things here on who might get the check. Still has to be voted on. And as you can see in the second article from the Wall Street Journal, there is talk about, and when it gets to the Senate, a debate about the minimum wage. So this is one of the things I hate that our politicians do. Instead of just passing a very bare minimum bill specifically for COVID and the needs that we have, getting more vaccinations out there, getting checks into people who need it, helping support small businesses, supporting the cities and the states, and making that it. We try to squeeze things in, one, that don't have anything to do with what's currently going on with COVID, and secondly, that just lead to friction and prevents these things from going through a lot quicker. Why we don't try to pass this minimum wage bill later on in its own bill, I don't know, but that's what they do. They always pack these things in, and that's ultimately what keeps a lot of friction going on in DC, and obviously it's probably done by design. But the sticking point is going to be a $15 an hour minimum wage. And I'm all for minimum wage going up. I know there are impacts potentially to the economy and to inflation and things of that sort, but I wish that this would be done after the fact. Let's take care of COVID and do that now, and then circle back. They don't have to wait long, but just circle back on its own so we can get the stimulus checks out there where they need to be, and then come back and let's talk about minimum wage. So we'll see where that goes. That will be something that they'll be debating on both sides, and we'll see if it gets moved forward or what happens to the bill. And it may have to go back to the House for an amended vote to go back again. So hopefully this gets done soon, because there are families, as we all know, who need help right now. Even though when we look at the stock market and other areas of the economy and what's going on, it doesn't seem that way for everybody. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Next up, exciting news going along the lines of more vaccinations. The Johnson & Johnson vaccination, that is a one-time shot, was approved for use, I believe right now in emergency situations, but it's another vaccination available. This time it's one instead of two shots, so it should speed up the process. If you think right now you get one shot, you wait 2 weeks, there's limited vaccinations out there, and then it takes a couple weeks for it to be fully done. If we get a one shot and done, that kind of speeds things up. So that's exciting news that just came out over the weekend. And now let's get into a little bit of investing stuff. This week you saw the market kind of sell off, some volatility to the downside came back, really hit those growth names. So the technology sector got hit hard. And one of the reasons, as we always know, there's underlying reasons that we don't ever actually uncover that lead to markets doing their things. Sometimes it's people taking profits. Sometimes there's a reason that's caused it, lots of things. But one of the things that we can look at, then know that there was impact on the market, is bond rates going up. So the 10-year note is one that's looked at as a measure of kind of what's going on with interest rates. It's one that we look at. It's also one that's used in formulas for trying to determine how much a company is worth based off of future values. So the 10-year is very important, and it's been going up. And when we see rates go up, one thing we see is bond prices go down. So in your portfolio, we have those bonds. And a lot of times we financial advisors talk about the bonds in the portfolio, our safety net. They're there for when the market goes down. They provide us some stability. They'll give us a little bit of earnings as far as yield on them and maybe a little bit of appreciation. But for most of us, we want those in there to weather the storm and soften the downside when the markets go down. But that does not mean that your bonds aren't without risk. And we're seeing right now bond prices go down when interest rates go up. They have an inverse relationship. So as rates go up, bonds go down, or bond prices go down and interest rates go up. They're inversely related. So we're seeing that. One of the reasons we see this hit the stock market so hard is going forward, if we're using the 10-year as a projection of what future values may be in the future, obviously future values in the future, then as interest rates go up, those future values begin to go down. So that means that the market has to discount those prices. So it's very nuanced in the way things work, but that's why you see these reactions. Whether or not it's a true predictor of what's going on in the future, we don't know, but that's the way that investors look at it and the way they digest this information. Now, rates have gone up before numerous times and the stock market ends up being just fine, but there is a period of adjustment. One of the things that I'm interested in seeing is over the last 10 years, these corrections, if you will, and this is not a correction at this point, but corrections have been very short-lived. We've seen that with volatility, the market goes down fast and hard and it's scary, but it doesn't stay down very long. It kind of V's right back up and recovers real quick. So we'll have to see in the next week, what happens to these heavy growth stocks of the world that have got hit hard. They've done real well the last couple of years. They got hit hard right now in this last week. They're still doing very well relative to over the last year, but this week we see them dropping 15, 20%. I think Tesla is in a 20% drawdown, which would put it in a bear market on its own individual stock. So it would be interesting to see if these things get snapped back up or if they are going to stay down a little bit longer. And depending on your investment style, this could be an opportunity to buy the dip, or you just continue to dollar cost average in your 401ks and your IRAs and your brokerage accounts. And if it stays down a little bit longer, great, you get to buy it on sale. And if it recovers, even better, because it means our accounts are going up. But the interest rates on the bonds are something that you'll hear investors talking about and be watching over the coming weeks. And the final thing, another investment one, we don't go too investment heavy very often, but I thought this was interesting and exciting to see as well for a number of reasons. So the small company stocks are leading the market right now. They're doing better than large company stocks, which is not what we've seen over the last 5-10 years. They've had some runs, but they haven't been ahead of the game compared to the large company stocks. And at my firm, we tilt a little bit to the small cap side because there's a lot of academic research that shows over the long term, given a long enough time horizon, small company stocks will outperform large stocks. So it's exciting to see this trend kind of come back. We know that there are times where small cap underperform the large caps, but when small cap outperforms, it makes up for that underperformance. So we'll see if the small caps can hang on. The other reason it's exciting is, even though these small cap stocks, these are not your small businesses down the street, but they're still smaller businesses, seeing them do well. The stock price is a reflection of the expectations of the future. It's a reflection of news coming out with them now. So it's a positive in this area. And seeing small caps lead the way is a positive sign for the economy because usually when there is a recovery, small company stocks kind of lead a way out of it. So that could be a good thing for the economy and the market going forward. I'm just excited to see the small guys being able to do well given everything that's been going on. And small, again, is not mom and pop small, but it's small relative to the corporations out there. So that is it this week. Like I said, not a lot of excitement, but some good things coming our way. J&J's got their one-shot vaccination ready to go. We're seeing small caps come back and lead the way out. We'll have to see what the bond market does in the coming weeks and what that does to the stock market. And then we'll have to see what the stimulus bill ends up being if it gets passed. Take a little bit longer than I would have thought it would by now, but that's just kind of the way these things work. So hopefully they can get this done and we can move past this. That's it for this week. Check the mixtape down below. A lot of great blog posts from this week. If you're watching this on YouTube, head on over to allaboutyourbenjamins.com. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like, share, all those great things to help more people find these videos and the other videos that are coming out. And also don't forget to tune in to The Pursuit every Friday on All About Your Benjamins, the podcast. It is a show on the podcast channel where we talk about pursuing our passions and how we make that happen in our life and aligning our values with our dollars. It is a new series, but I'm really enjoying it, and you can get caught up on the past episodes. I think we're 5 or 6 deep right now, but really enjoying that and have some good stuff coming up. All right, let's get you to the rest of your Sunday if you're watching this on Sunday, if you're catching it on Monday, onto your week. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all in the next episode.